Welcome to the introductory video for the 211 Ontario User Needs Dashboard. The purpose of this video is to orient you to the dashboard and to provide you with tips and tricks for using it. First, we'll be covering where to locate the dashboard on 211ontario.ca. It can be located through the 211 Data section, found under the About dropdown. You'll have to scroll down the page to view the dashboard. When you scroll down to the dashboard, it's not yet appearing at full size. To see it in full screen, go to view the Business Intelligence dashboard at full size, click here. The dashboard contains several pages. Before we go into the contents of the pages, we'll cover how to navigate and use filters. On each page, there's a menu that allows you to quickly navigate to any of the other pages by clicking on one of the buttons. For example, Unmet Needs, to navigate to the Unmet Needs page. You can also navigate by using the back and forward buttons appearing near the bottom of the screen. In addition to the menu, there are two buttons on each page that provide more context. Overview gives overview information, and the Sharing button provides instructions for sharing the dashboard. To close any information window that pops up when you click a button or an eye icon, click on the back arrow. Note that there are several places in each tab that contain an eye icon. Clicking on these will provide you with additional information and tips about the data and how to use the dashboard. On each tab, you will also see a last refreshed date and time. This reflects the date and time when the data was exported from the source system. So for example, if it says May 7th at 5:29 a.m., then that means the last full day of data was May the 6th. On each page, you can choose a different date range than the default, which is set to the current calendar year. You can do this by either using the calendar to pick a date range, or by typing into the boxes. Each page also has a filter section. This allows you to either use drop-downs to see all available items, or to start typing. In each section, you can add more than one filter. For example, in County/Region, you could add both Lanark and Renfrew. This can be useful when you want to capture statistics for a particular geographic catchment area, or if you wish to combine more than one age category, more than one gender, etc. You can remove individual filters by clicking on the X, or you can clear out all filters in a section by clicking on the Clear button. You can also combine filters with each other. For example, demographic and geography filters. Now that we've covered navigation and filtering, we'll go through the page contents. The Needs page shows the number of needs identified, broken down by category and geography. When someone contacts 211, they may present with one or more needs. For example, they may need both shelter and food. There are two charts that show the needs by category. Top 5 needs by needs category shows the top 5 needs by percentage. By default, this shows the needs for the entire province, but will change based on selected filters, including geographic, date, and demographic. For example, if I were to put Sault Ste. Marie as the city, the top 5 needs will change to reflect that selection. Note that if there is a tie in the top needs, more than 5 categories will display here, and if there are fewer than 5 needs categories, based on what is filtered, then fewer than 5 will display. The donut chart shows all needs by categories. Needs can be grouped by broader or narrower categories. For example, what you see by default is the top level, what we call the needs category. It includes broader concepts like health, housing, food/meals, etc. You can see the more specific categories by drilling down on the donut chart. For example, after turning on the drill down, by clicking on the downward pointing arrow, or right-clicking and selecting drill down. You can go down one or more levels. Now, if you use this method, turning on the drill down, you then need to click into whichever slice you want to see. And for the right click, you just click into the slice of interest. So for example, if I want to go down into the food meals category, I can go down through that level, through food, and through emergency food to see food banks. You can drill down farther all the way to level 5 to get more and more specific. When you use the method of turning on the drill down by clicking on the downward pointing arrow, you must also turn it off before selecting a section of the chart. If you use the right-click method, this isn't necessary. You can combine this with other filters. For example, you could see the number of food banks for older adults in Toronto. And you could also combine that with date ranges. When you drill down, it's important to note that the percentages always reflect the percentage of that category, not total needs. So in the example of food banks, the percentages reflect 100% of the emergency food category, which is one level up, rather than all needs. The unmet needs page shows the number of unmet needs broken down by category, reason the need was unmet, and geography. A need is considered to be unmet when 211 did not have an appropriate referral to give to the client. For example, someone might have contacted 211 looking for a food bank late Friday night, and there might not have been a food bank open at the time, and the reason would be hours of program. The same methods for filtering and drilling down into the needs categories applies here. For example, if you want to see the number of unmet needs for tax preparation assistance in Niagara, you can filter down through other government economic services, tax organizations and services, and then see tax preparation assistance. And then I can put Niagara in. To filter to that. The contacts report page displays the total number of contact reports logged. It also includes the number of contact reports tracked by month, number of needs per month, as well as the total number of contact reports tracked by day. For the total contacts reports by day, note that by default it will include the same day for all months, so the 2nd will include January, February, March, etc. To use this chart, you will want to refine by using the date filter and refine to a specific month. This page also includes a geographic breakdown of the logged reports, as well as charts about age category, gender, and language of the client contacting 211. Now, sometimes when you're looking at a chart, it can be hard to read, and I'm going to go back up here to show this, or some of the labels may be missing in the pie and donut charts. To see the chart larger on screen, you can go into focus mode by clicking on the rightmost icon that looks like an arrow pointing upwards at an angle. Note that in focus mode, you may see a different refresh date. This is automatically applied by Microsoft when the report is refreshed. This should just be ignored as it doesn't tell you how up to date the data is. And you tend to see this when you're looking at the dashboard not in full screen. When you're seeing full screen, it doesn't usually show. To get out of focus mode, click on Back to Report. The other thing you can do to see data more clearly is right-click and select View as Table. This is especially useful for the donut and pie charts. Note that for the charts containing needs categories that you can drill down into, you will get a breadcrumb trail of the categories that you've drilled down into. So for example, here you will see the top category, the second level, and the third level. If you have any questions, would like to learn more about 211 data, or would like to access it for a public good initiative, you can contact us at 211data@211ontario.ca.